Klay Thompson just recently made the most gut-wrenching decision of this year's free agency, opting to leave the only team he's ever known in the Golden State Warriors and ultimately taking his talents to the Dallas Mavericks. And with Klay teaming up with Luka and Kyrie on this stacked Mavs squad, he's about to prove everyone wrong. The fact that Klay was able to join the reigning Western Conference champions is a dream come true. Just like he did for so many years on the Warriors, he gets to continue to play in a winning situation on a team with a serious chance to compete for the championship. And he's gonna fit right in as the Mavericks' third scoring option. In case y'all forgot, Klay Thompson is still one of the most dangerous and efficient catch and shoot players in all of basketball. And despite no doubt having an up and down season last year, he still gave you a healthy 18 points per game on 39% three-point shooting, all while hitting 93% of his free throws. A lot of fans seem to take current day Klay Thompson for granted, just because he's not putting up the exact same numbers as prime Klay. But there's no question, any of the other 29 teams in the NBA would love to have that type of production on hand. And now, Klay will get so many more open looks playing off of Luka and Kyrie, and he won't have to force nearly as many bad shots as he did last season. The Dallas Mavericks offense is a lot more calculated and intentional, with Luka Doncic at the center of everything. And unlike playing in a more free-flowing, unpredictable system like the Warriors, Klay having more structure in the offense will help him define his role on the court so much better, and will ultimately lead him to get even more uncontested jumpers off. He even seems to think so himself.
I don't think you can stick to me as much as you could in the past with guys like Luka and Kai out there, and that's what also was very attractive for me.
And that's not a slight at Steph Curry, because his gravity and otherworldly off-ball movement has and will always generate his teammates tons of open looks. But Kyrie and Luka demand a different level of attention from the defense with the ball in their hands that Klay has never got a chance to experience in his career until now, and it's gonna generate so many more drive and kick opportunities for him. It also helps that Luka's just outright one of the best passers in the league, period. Simply put, we're about to see a different level of shooting efficiency from Klay Thompson. It doesn't matter that he's not in his prime anymore. One of the greatest shooters and off-ball movers in NBA history, playing a refined role on this dynamic Dallas Mavericks team changes everything. Jason Kidd and the Mavs offense will have to get more creative with off-ball shooting plays to help fully maximize Klay's abilities, adding more motion to the offense. But I'm sure the organization didn't add a shooter of Klay Thompson's caliber to the team to not integrate him into their style of play. And Klay will also definitely bring some new concepts to the table himself. Finally, Thompson will get to play with bigs who consistently put pressure on the rim as rollers in Dereck Lively and Daniel Gafford. And the threat of those two will help open up his own offense and playmaking even more, as we saw glimpses of that side of his game last season on his numerous connections with high-flying rookie big Trayce Jackson-Davis. The Mavs have made some significant improvements to their roster this summer, and are no doubt having an A+ offseason. They bought low and traded for quintessential 3-and-D wing Quentin Grimes to take the place of Josh Green, brilliantly signed Najee Marshall to make up for losing the tenacious perimeter defense and floor spacing of Derrick Jones Jr., and finally, upgraded the far too inconsistent shooting of Tim Hardaway Jr. to that of one of the best in the game in Klay Thompson. This Mavericks team is ready to make another push at the Larry O'Brien trophy, and the rest of the Western Conference does not want to see them. Now, the only real downside I can see to this current Mavs lineup is that their perimeter defense is highly questionable. Losing Derrick Jones Jr. in the starting five is a big hit to what they do defensively. He was their go-to point of attack defender last season and did a fantastic job of hounding the opposing team's best perimeter player each night. And with an older Klay Thompson taking his place in the starting lineup, that's now something you have to worry about. We know Luka and Kyrie aren't the answer, so does PJ Washington take that assignment? Or do we expect Klay Thompson to suddenly get back some of the juice he's lost defensively? Whatever the case may be, the Mavericks do tend to rely more on their team defense, as opposed to having just one lockdown defender. We know the rim protection is always going to be there with Daniel Gafford and Dereck Lively. PJ Washington has always been a solid defender, and Kyrie and Luka have definitely been more bought into that end of the floor. So because at least we know Klay will always give effort on defense, the Mavs should actually be able to manage. Although it's still shocking to think about after all of the success and moments he had there, but Klay Thompson was justified in leaving the Golden State Warriors. They just never once made him feel at all like a priority leading up to his departure. And even if they did manage to keep Klay, they were planning to bring him off the bench next year for AirPods. That, on top of the long-standing contract dispute, was the last straw for Thompson. And it probably also didn't help when he saw his co-stars Steph and Draymond basically give the okay on a potential Paul George signing trade to pay him max money, which would obviously mean that Klay Thompson was no longer in the picture. But ultimately, it all worked out for him because he's found a new home and a new opportunity to win with the Dallas Mavericks. It is interesting to hear that he skipped out on the chance to play with LeBron and the Lakers just to avoid that whole circus in LA. Cause after one bad shooting night playing for the Lakers, those fans will make you public enemy number 1 immediately. It's cool to hear that he just wanted a fresh start away from all the limelight, where he can still play meaningful basketball. Though, he'll now be wearing number 31 on the Mavs. And I know he's repping Reggie Miller and Jason Terry, but that number just looks so odd on him. Number 11 was always so clean and crisp. And seeing that 31 on the back of his jersey now will definitely take some getting used to. At the end of the day, Klay Thompson still has a lot left in the tank. And after how things ended last season, he's out for revenge. If him and the Dallas Mavericks can put it all together, the rest of the NBA is not safe.
At this point in my career, I mean, still can't leave me open, and I can guard, and I'm just excited. I still think I can do what I've been able to do, and it's just about being in the best shape I could possibly be, but I know I can help this team, whether it's the knowledge I've gained or big scoring nights. I just still know I can be a very, very good player in this league.